Let's take a look at the test for Chapter 21, Human Resource Management. When a farm employee does a particular task wrong, a good supervisor will do which of these? The best answer here is number 1. Explain why the way he or she did it was wrong and demonstrate the correct technique. Generally, the largest part of a farm employee's total compensation comes from bonuses, contributions to retirement, fringe benefits. The largest part would come from wages or salary. When interviewing prospective farm employees, a manager should ask questions that can be answered yes or no to make the interview go faster. These are known as closed-ended questions. You want to ask open-ended questions. This is false. The amount of human labor used in U.S. agriculture has decreased during the last 50 years because more capital-intensive technology has changed, and the marginal rate of substitution of capital for labor. This one sounds best. More equipment, especially tractors, specialized tractors. All agricultural employees must be paid at least the minimum wage. What do you think? That's actually false. Small farms, I believe it's less than 7 employees, don't have to abide by those laws. And with parental consent, if you have children that are of a certain age, like 16 or under, I believe they do not have to be paid minimum wage by law. False. A characteristic of labor that makes it different from other agricultural resources. It cannot be stored or saved for later use. No, you can't do that. You can save tractors and equipment. It does have an opportunity cost. Other resources cannot be substituted. That's not true. You can find other resources. Its marginal cost affects how much can be used profitably. No, this one. Can't store it. One measure of labor efficiency on a farm is one measure. Let's see. So once again, I think we're looking at a number ratio thing here. Average hourly wage paid, labor efficiency. No. Value of farm production per person year utilized. I like that. Total labor cost. No. That's just a total number of person years of labor is just another total, but here we have a ratio, value of farm production per person year utilized. This one. That is an efficiency ratio. Which type of bonus payment plan would provide a hired manager of a beef cattle feedlot with the most incentive to correctly balance rations? 0.5% of gross sales. That doesn't really have anything to do with food. $500 paid in December for each year worked. That doesn't have anything to do with balancing rations of food. $100 for each 10th pound, 0.1 pounds less feed used per pound of gain below a standard value. That sounds like it has to do with managing feed. $5 paid per finished animal sold. That doesn't have anything to do with managing feed. It's got to be this one. The most qualified pool of applicants for an experienced managerial level position on a large ranch can be obtained by letting neighboring ranchers know that there is a position open. Well, you can do that, but that's probably not the best way to do it. Placing an announcement with a regional or national agribusiness recruiting firm. That sounds like a good idea. Contacting the placement office of the local ag college. Well, we're looking for experience. Somebody in college doesn't have that much experience. Placing an ad in the classified section of the local newspaper. Well, for experienced managerial level position, the best place, I mean, you can do this. You probably want to do this along with something else, but this would be, I would think, would be the most specific, looking for this experienced managerial position. In most states, it is legal to ask prospective employees questions about their race, religion, and age. Definitely not. Don't ever do that. Bad. Very bad. Understanding the cultural differences that farm ranch employees may have compared to their managers will generally improve communication between them. That's a really good idea. I'm going to say true on that. Well, this is great. Had a little glitch there with the internet. Same question here. So it's a good idea to know and understand the cultural differences. Generally offending people, employees, poor communication, misunderstandings, not conducive to productive farm management. We call that true. Classified ads for farm employees should be short in order to hold costs down. That's not a good idea. You need to put in that classified ad necessary information to find qualified people, not focus on how many words you're paying for in a newspaper. The majority of labor utilized in U.S. agriculture comes from, no, maybe comes from self-employed owner-operators, smaller farms. I'm going with that one. The most qualified pool of applicants for an experienced managerial level position on a large ranch can be obtained by, well, we already had this one. Oh, it's because of my glitch. It's repeating some questions. Well, that's all right. A little review. Regional or national ag business recruiting firm is the best answer there. Ranches with highly seasonal labor needs should only hire full-time permanent employees. Okay, so seasonal, that means that it's not all year long. You might only need a lot of labor during a harvest time for 3 months. So that's false. We don't want a bunch of permanent employees with nothing to do. Workers' compensation laws require employers to carry insurance. Yes, they do. Pay workers at least. No. Contribute to a fund that is used to pay benefits to unemployed workers. That's different. I think that's unemployment insurance. Withhold income. No. Carry insurance. Workers' compensation. Somebody gets hurt at work. Job-related injuries. When interviewing prospective farm employees, try to ask questions that are open-ended. Definitely. That can be answered yes or no. No. About religious beliefs, illegal. About how long they plan to work for you. No. Try to ask open-ended questions so they can reveal more. Learn about the person. Tell me about your background. When you're not working, what kinds of activities do you enjoy? Do you have hobbies? What are they? An advertisement for a farm employee should Include financial information about the farm. Be short. State the gender. Definitely not. Describe the level of skills, education, experience, design. Yes, that's the most relevant issue when you're looking for an employee. What can you do? How will you help us make more money? How will you help us solve problems? The cost of housing provided to a farm employee can be a tax-deductible expense for the employer. Well, this is fun to see because we covered this back when the contest used Publication 225, the IRS tax guide for farmers. So this is true. You can have that as a tax-deductible expense. New farm employees should have a performance review. Okay, so this is a formal review about how the employee is doing, and when should this happen? On a regular basis. So this is for a new employee. This is the best answer. During the first few months on the job, and then on a regular basis, perhaps once a year. But a new employee, definitely during the first few months. A lot of times employees are on a probationary period. They could be fired at any time. It's like that for teachers. I think I was on probation for 2 years. I think that's generally how it is in California. The biggest problem in securing sufficient labor throughout the year on a cash grain farm. Biggest problem securing cash grain. Okay, so it's a grain farm, seasonal. Let's see what we got. Labor supply is highly variable from month to month. There are no slack work periods. Working conditions have become worse in recent. No, definitely, that's the definite wrong answer. Labor needs are highly variable from month to month. Yes, the farm labor needs on this type of a farm would be variable from month to month. It's really not about the supply, it's about the need that the farmer has. An organizational chart of a farm business helps illustrate what? Where various fields or building sites are located. So an organizational chart is a chart that shows the relationship of all the managers and employees and who has authority with respect to decision making over other people. Let's see if we find something like that. Which personnel exercise authority over other personnel? That one. Who's in charge here? You should be able to go to the organizational chart, and a good organizational chart that everybody is aware of could help to eliminate miscommunication. A good incentive plan for farm employees should do what? An incentive plan is a plan to pay people more money for being more productive. Let's see which one this makes sense for this. Be based on factors over which the employee has control. Definitely. Be paid only once a year. No. Shift some price risk to the employee. I don't think so. Account for over half of the employee's total compensation. Probably not a good idea. Be based on factors over which the employee has control. Yeah, that would be the best. That would be the best here of these choices. So, could have to do with something as simple as how much fruit is picked during a day, and maybe over a certain amount you get some type of a bonus. So, some type of motivation to make workers more productive, to care more about their work, to do a better job. In most states, it is legal to ask prospective employees questions about their race. We covered this. You can't do that. It's illegal. No. For crop farms, labor efficiency generally decreases as more acres are farmed. No, it would be the opposite of that. Crop farms, a bigger farm, you could have more productive labor. This is false. It would be true if it said increases as more acres are farmed. Bigger farms, You have more control over having employees becoming more efficient. False on this one. Hope I'm right. Okay, good. Employees should first be given written warning before being discharged, fired, for poor work performance. Absolutely. You got to give people a heads up, give them a chance to improve. That's why you have those reviews in the early months for a new employee. You don't just tell somebody to hit the road without any reason why. Yeah, you got to give them some kind of warning and say, hey, if you don't improve, these are the things that are likely to happen. We need you to change. That's true. Blank allows agricultural employers to legally hire foreign workers for a temporary or seasonal work if there's a verifiable shortage of domestic workers available for these tasks. Which one of these things supports that? H-2A. I think that's a type of visa, like an H-2A visa for work. Section H-2A of the Immigration Reform and Control. An employment agreement is, okay, so this is an agreement between the employer and the employee. A promise, no. A short statement of how much an employee will be paid, no. A contract between the farmer and the USDA, no. A comprehensive description of compensation, duties, benefits, hours, vacation time, safety rules, all kinds of information, definitely this one. Details about work. Okay, well that's it. So that's Chapter 21, Human Resources.